Now we want to factor polynomials. Step 1, find my GCF. I have negative 21 minus 12z. The best thing to do if you're having problems is just do a factor tree on the numbers. 21 is 3 times 7. 12 is 2 times 6, and 2 times 3. What do they have in common? 3. What I mean by that is if I factor out a 3, it's like reverse distributing. This is really the same as minus 21 over 3 minus 12z over 3. Because if I distribute this, the 3's cancel, don't they? And I get back to where I started. But I don't like all these negatives inside. I'm going to factor out a negative, make these both positive, and I end up with negative 3 times 7 plus 4z. And this is my final answer. I'm going to see if you can do this one. I have 12v minus 4v cubed. And the first step is find my greatest common factor.
Is 4 the answer?
4 is the right number. How about, is there any v's?
Yeah.
How many?
1.
1. 4v. Now I factor out a 4v. It is really the same as dividing each term by 4v. Or you can say 12v divided by 4v, 3. 4v times 3, doesn't that give me my original 12v?
Yes.
Minus, now what's the second term going to be? I have 4v to the third divided by 4v. 4v is my greatest common factor. What do I get? The 4's cancel. And I get what?
V to the second.
Now it's factored. Now this is different. So I'm going to write this as 4s times s plus 1 minus s plus 1. Can you tell what the greatest common factor is? Okay, I'm going to make a little trick, and then you'll be able to tell. I'm going to make a letter called U, and I'm going to call it S plus 1. Here, I have 4S times U minus U. Do you agree?
Huh?
Now, what's my greatest common factor?
The 4?
Can I divide them both by 4?
Well, there's none.
Then
The
I
U.
can't. The U, exactly. I can factor out a U, and then what do I have? I have 4S here, because U times 4S is 4SU, right?
Yes.
And remember, don't forget there's an invisible 1 here, minus 1. But I have this
Yes.
fake U. The U really is fake. I'm going to change it back to S plus 1. I want you to be able to see from here that I can go to here without all the in-between U steps. Can you see now that my greatest common factor, this is really one number since it's inside the parentheses. I can factor that out of both terms. You see it? There's my S plus 1. And if I multiply S plus 1 times 4S, don't I get the first term? And then minus S plus 1. This is very important to be able to see this. Every time you see something times something, this is 4S times S plus 1. This is minus 1 times S plus 1. I can see that S plus 1 is common to both terms. There it is. And then what's left is 4s minus 1. We have, in everything that we're going to do in this class, we're going to either have to factor 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms. We have 4 terms here. Whenever you see 4 terms, you have to factor by group. What does that mean? Well, I have q to the third plus 9q squared plus 7q plus 63. I'm going to group the first 2 numbers together. I always have a positive between them. Always positive. If it's minus, you put it inside the parentheses and put a plus between them. And then I group the second 2. First group, what's the greatest common factor?
Q to the second.
Perfect. And then what times q squared gives me q to the third?
Q to the 1.
Q, exactly. Plus, and then what am I going to need here? 9. Now if I distribute, don't I get q to the third plus 9q squared, which is what I started with, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, and then we do the same thing here. GCF. What's my greatest common factor in my second group?
7.
7, exactly. Times q plus 9. Okay, now I'm here, right? We're always only looking at the last thing I did. What's my greatest common factor?
Q.
No. Remember the one we did where I changed it to a U?
Uh-huh.
Don't you see that both of those terms, this is a term, this is one term, this is one term. Remember, terms are things multiplied together, separated by plus or minus signs. So do you see that q plus 9 is common to both of those terms?
Yes.
I pull it out. Well, the first term needs a q squared, and the second term needs a 7. I color-coded it to make it a little easier to see. Hopefully it's a little easier to see. And I'll give you a moment just to look at it. This part is very visual. That's why I'm trying to use colors to help guide you through it. Whenever you have 4 terms, you're going to factor by grouping.